I know that CDD West Africa has been really involved in educating the populace about false information or misinformation, either from the campaigns or from citizens or from leaders, or that we see on social media and we see through WhatsApp. And so I'm curious if you could share some of the interventions or strategies that you've used to shed light on this issue of misinformation, and also reflect on how we're able to see how effective some of these interventions before the elections actually were when it comes to this issue of misinformation on social media and other platforms.
I think this election will be won by violence itself, but it will be won by who is able to deploy the most of disinformation, or call it and fake news, to win votes in the elections. In fact, the closer the election is, the more news we see, more news we have to debunk. In fact, fact-checking has become like a 4-hour job for us. And even the challenge with how much news can we take out? That's how if you check our Twitter and release to the report. And these are very, very insidious one. Divisive that post-election to be one Nigeria is much more difficult for us. So you have instances of people coming to talk about what coming Nigeria, attempt to actually Islamize the country. They put, and the important thing you have to note of this is that there is always a bit of truth in what is actually being injected into the public domain. It's not like it's complete falsehood, such that it makes it very difficult to then debunk entirely as not to actually be truth. Now, what is also interesting, these two campaigns are doing is that they are using high quality videos for some of the disinformation doing. The difference between 2019 and 2015 was that in 2015, they deployed this 55 minutes long video, like an 1 hour, 30 minutes, The Lion of Bodillion. Now, this in 2019, the idea is a 2-minute video. A 2-minute video well said online and on WhatsApp, or messages at times cloning very good media. So you see they put BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera as being huge culprits. In fact, if you see my blog, I did a blog on African argument, you see the pictures. So they put it and they show it behind, and they make people to believe that the news is actually coming from Al Jazeera or BBC. In fact, there was a day that said it was a CIA advisory to Nigeria. So these news are so much, too many, and they are out there. And it has only one thing to do. It's either to scare voters. There is an attempt at voter suppression also. It's either to garner votes, to suppress voters. In some instance, I give you an example of a voter suppression where there was this faceless group, this Fulani nationalist movement, which came up with a news asking people to stay away, Muslims to stay away from the polling unit until they are sure that there will be a real Islamic state, that there is no need to actually vote. And this, they came up with very good messages in it. And at the end of the day, they then asked that, share this to your Christian friends. So you can see that it's actually a flip side for them to then say, see this Muslim, see what they are again planning. And these are from faceless groups. Some are well written, some are not well written also. And it's being shared. So it's either to gather votes, if you are talking of somebody trying to Islamize Nigeria, or somebody is a corrupt person and is going to steal more money, the forces of good and the forces of darkness. At times it comes in an audio. Like yesterday again, we got another audio, which was talking about a meeting being held in Saudi Arabia. And the meeting is talking about how to kill all the Christians in Nigeria. And you have a 50 seconds audio. Do you know how well traveled? And the person claimed to be from Ghana, but speaking with a Nigerian accent. But because it's playing on the sentiments of the people, then it becomes very difficult for them to let go of it, because these are already, it goes to an echo chamber where whatever you do 25 times is very difficult for it to actually be believed. And with the numbers, fact checking again, becomes challenging. So what do we do at the CDD? We are not just fast checking, we are investing a lot into civic education, not just online, but on radio, calling people to say, please, this is fake news, check this, check that, using very funny characters also at times to push our news, like comedians, so that people can actually be very wary of fake news, then training other journalists and in particular the Electoral Management Body and the NOA so they can immediately debunk some of these fake news. But the thin line between misinformation and disinformation and dangerous speech itself becomes a big challenge for the country, because we are not just dealing with fake news, we are not just dealing with disinformation as a means to win the elections, but it's not hate speeches this time around, but dangerous speeches coming from some very well-respected members of the society, either individually as a collective ahead of the elections.